AC now because well, last time we had it on in the bedroom when we recorded, I could hear it in the background. It influences the way that our voices come in and out.
Acoustics.
Yeah.
Sound design.
What doesn't help is crinkling candy wrappers, Cody.
I've been watching ASMR all fucking week at work.
See how spiky and ugly that looks?
It looks so pretty.
It looks like shit.
It looks like a new core, or what are you fucking... Kyle! New metal! That's what I wanted. A new metal band.
I listen to new core metal.
Hey, Bill, what is
my favorite band is Corn on the Cob.
What hand motion am I making at you for those of us listening at home?
That looks like a middle finger you are extending. A favorite of my new core metal band, the Limp Bizkits. They like to use the middle finger.
I hate you so much. I want a divorce. I am asking you for a divorce live on this episode
of Soon to Be a Major Motion Podcast. The podcast where we read movies that are based on books. Where we read books that are based on shit. You threw me off. You can't do the segue. It's my job. You fucked it up. You fucked up this brand new episode of Soon to Be a Major Motion Podcast, the podcast where we watch movies that are based on books and read books that were turned into movies. I am Billy Beck.
I am Codie Beck.
And we are your hosts on this every other weekly adventure into the world of cinema and novels / historical biographies / comic books / whatever the fuck I make you read.
You could just say the printed word.
Honey, how many audiobooks have you listened to?
Not as many as you would expect.
How many ebooks have you used?
It's still printed.
Displayed, maybe.
Oh my god, semantics.
Speaking of semantics, this is a brand new episode. Wait. Hey, stop fighting. Children were fighting. Where were we? Semantics. Cody, how have you been?
Besides asking you for a divorce 37 seconds ago.
Hey, you do that every day.
That's true. I've been fine. Work has been fine. Oh, my favorite artist dropped her first official album.
Is that what was playing from your watch just now?
No, it was something random from 5 Seconds of Summer. Fuck you. What do you think I am, a teenage girl? Ugh.
So anyway, your favorite artist who caters to teenage girls released a new album?
Yes. Technically her debut album. It's a concept album. And it is very good and fun. The artist is King Mala, and the album is called And You Who Drowned in Grief of a Golden Thing. And it's about religious trauma and being a woman, and it's great.
God, that sounds like the title we'd give a movie in our Greek Alien Gods series. And
It really does.
On the treatment.
But
I don't think the second one of those is out yet.
I don't think so. I think you're correct. Whoops.
Oopsie poopsie.
How about you? How was your week?
Fine. Working, and then come home and recording and editing and jump back into Yakuza 7. Gotta catch up on that before next weekend when our good friend Mark Lucas is in town. So you'll know exactly when we record that episode of The Treatment.
Because it'll be live.
Well, it'll just sound different.
That's true.
But, no, I've been just doing my shit. I did notice you got a book there.
I have 2 books here, in fact.
Are they the same book?
They are. One is the original 1984 release, and one is a re-release that I don't even know what year it's from.
If only there was no title to this podcast so you could reveal to us what book you've been reading. I
have been reading The Color of Money by Walter Tevis.
You know what's interesting?
Uh-huh.
Just last night I watched a movie with the same title.
Do they have any relationship?
I don't know. Why don't you, briefly, give me a real quick synopsis of what this book is about?
A man has a midlife crisis because he used to be good at a sport and now he's not good at the sport anymore and has to claw his way back to the top of it. Except it's a new game and a different version of it.
Actually, that does sound real similar to what I watched.
Also, he has a whole affair with a professor's ex-wife, and they start a random art business that burns down.
Go back to the stuff about sports. Maybe it's not the same thing. You know what? If we huddle up around my phone and watch a trailer, maybe that will provide some answers.
Paul Newman, Tom Cruise, in a Martin Scorsese picture.
He's got the eye, he's got the stroke, he's got the flair.
Vincent's the best.
We got a racehorse here, a thoroughbred. You make him feel good, I teach him how to run. I'm not your daddy, I'm not your boyfriend, so don't be playing games with me. I'm your partner.
I love this.
You're an incredible flake. But that's a gift.
I made money.
I lost money. Hey, I'll come fix him. I got half of me that says I got a hold of the best thing that I ever seen, and half of me that says it just ain't worth it.
Why'd you take a walk? $500 says you choke right now. You used me!
Yes, I did.
I'm gonna leave.
This is Fast Eddie Felson. Who the hell are you?
25 years ago, I won my share of medals. But it was over for me before it really got started. I'm hungry again.
See some heavy legend action.
I won his best game.
You want my game? You couldn't deal with my game, Jack. You're outmanned.
I'm gonna beat him, you know.
What makes you so sure?
Touchstone Pictures presents
You smell what I smell? Smoke?
Money.
The Color of Money.
Fast Eddie Felson is an aging former pool hustler whose love of pool and hustling is reinvigorated by a young gun named Vince. While Vince's girlfriend Carmen learns the hustling ropes quickly, Vince takes a while to learn why losing makes money. Eddie teaches Carmen and Vince the ropes, then heads to Atlantic City to compete in the 9-Ball Classic, during which Vince intentionally loses to Eddie to win a big bet. In response, Eddie resigns from the tournament and challenges Vince to a final match, which we don't get to see. But the thing you said about an old man gives it one more go, I mean, that's kind of what the movie is, right?
So there's no Vince in the book.
Okay.
Vince is kind of the Paul Newman character. It's like they broke Fast Eddie Felson into two characters.
Okay.
Yeah, the book is basically more about his midlife crisis than anything else.
That reads, because there's a lot in the film of Eddie learning to be young again, which is how I've always kind of read a midlife crisis, is old man trying to act like he's in his 20s, his 30s again, right?
So, is there a character called Minnesota Fats in the movie?
Well, there is not. And here's where we're getting to the Scorsese of it all. Because this is our Scorsese, and this is number 2. The last time out, we talked about how Scorsese adapted a biopic. This time, we're just going with a straight novel. What did he do here? And I kind of have to get into the production.
Feel free.
Like, early. Paul Newman himself, after seeing Raging Bull in 82, I think.
What does my top note there say?
Similarity to Raging Bull. So I wonder if Newman saw Raging Bull in 80, because that came out in 82? 84.
The book is 84.
84. I wonder if Newman saw that and thought, oh, I can bring back Fast Eddie, and went to Tevis first, said write a novel. Because Tevis also wrote an unproduced screenplay for the film, which Scorsese didn't like and just decided to go a different direction with it.
I can see that, because one of the things about Scorsese is that he wants people to win, but he kind of wants them to lose at the same time. Like, he wants them to have to sacrifice the thing that is good about them in order to achieve their goal. And Tevis is, and I'm basing this solely on the fact that The Color of Money is the only thing I've read by him. I have not read The Queen's Gambit. I've not seen The Queen's Gambit. I have not read The Hustler or seen The Hustler. This reads basically like wish fulfillment for an old man. And considering that Tevis died, like, immediately after this book came out.
Like, the day he turned in the script. I literally.
Yeah. So maybe it could have used some more time in the editing room.
Possibly.
some more drafts. But yeah, the book is more about dealing with getting old, and it's more about finding the thing that gives you fire, because the end is straight up a triumph. He fucking wins.
Yeah.
He just flat out, he beats the two best players of 9-ball, a game that he has barely started to play, and wins the $30,000 prize. He gets the girl. They're gonna make a go of it and be happy when he's 50 years old. But so like the end of the book is exuberant. It's just, he fucking won. He did it. He achieved everything. But considering the fact that this is a second book, and there was, The Hustler, where I assume he did the same thing, is there going to be another book, or would there have been a third book in 20 years when this guy is 70, where he's repeated the same mistakes?
I don't know. You did ask me about Minnesota Fats.
I did, yes.
And I think he was in Tevis's screenplay, and the screenplay wasn't used. And in Richard Price's screenplay for this one, they wrote him in because Jackie Gleason wanted to come back and play him again. So they wrote him in, and everyone just kind of agreed, including Gleason. Like, it doesn't really fit this movie. It feels added on just to be added on. So they removed it, and the film I saw didn't feel like it was missing anything.
Yeah, it from the trailer, it looks like they kind of turned Eddie into that character. Because Minnesota Fats, the book opens with with Eddie going to see Fats, basically to convince him to do some exhibition games across the country to make some money. And it's because he's lost all his money in his divorce, and he lost his pool room that he managed for 20 years, and he's basically at a crisis. And so he goes to see this guy that he triumphantly beat 20 years ago when he was like the best pool hustler ever. And the guy basically hustles him for more money, and they have their matches, and Minnesota Fats kicks the shit out of him every time they play, but Eddie is starting to get better, and he's also like giving him tips and advice and that kind of thing, and he dies the day of their last game. So
Fats does?
Yeah, so Eddie never gets the comeuppance over Fats, which is why it's so important that he does get the comeuppance over the young kids later.
Okay.
So he's kind of become the Fats by the end of the novel.
Interesting. So some of those elements are present in the film. He does get fucking dog-walked by a hustler in one scene. The early surprising Forrest Whitaker appearance, by the way.
Okay.
Just, like, he's so young, I didn't recognize that it was Forrest Whitaker. I just knew that I knew that face. But for the most part, because I believe how the film The Hustler ended was Eddie swore to never play again, basically. Yeah,
it's implied that he walked away from hustling because he got a possibly mob-related backer, and he didn't want to split the money with him, so he was just like, deuces, I'm out.
Yeah. So there's no pool hall in the film. There's no anything he loses. He just makes his money selling alcohol to a bar run by his girlfriend. So he doesn't like even get back into the sport until he sees Vince play. And he's just like, wow, that kid's something special. Maybe I can teach him how to hustle. And over the course of the film, Eddie starts falling in love with the game of pool again, and he cares less and less about the hustle, and he wants to start winning. So when he gets dog walked by the hustler, that's when he gets new glasses so that he can see better, and he just starts working again, and he goes into this tournament wanting to win the tournament, doesn't care about the money. Meanwhile, you watch Vince, who at the beginning is being told sometimes you need to lose games in order to make more money off other people, because then, odds go up and shit. And they're more willing to risk more because they think they have a better chance of beating you, and then you get them. That's what hustling is. So he's trying to teach him that, and Vince just wants to win. He just loves playing. And by the end of the film, Vince is, like, just a hard-ass hustling dudes at 1 a.m. in the practice room to make an extra $1,500 before the next day of the tournament, and then betting against himself because he beat someone real strong earlier in the tournament. So the odds of Eddie beating Vince were a lot higher. So he loses just, like, I think he said 4 missed strokes to lose this game, and he made $8,000.
So,
like, and he's completely lost his youth, but Newman, Fast Eddie, has regained his youth, and there's that, like, that aspect of the midlife crisis and the getting old is real strong in the film.
So this book is more like, these young kids, they're tight jeans and they're rock and roll, they don't respect the sport anymore.
Fucking Iggy Pop had a cameo in the film.
So one of the things that they bring in exceptionally late in this is the idea of apparently a con called Two Brothers and a Stranger.
Oh, that's in the movie, yeah.
So that is mentioned twice, and it is literally just used as kind of a way to shake Eddie's confidence before his final. But the thing is, he beats the real, like, enemy that he faces is Babes Cooley. I read the sections where Babes was talked about a couple of times because I was getting real strong This Is a Black Dude vibes. But this author will make sure you know the race of the person if they're not white.
Well, yeah, how else is his white audience gonna know what to picture in their minds?
So, Babes read, like, a stereotype of a, like, late 70s, early 80s type of, like, punk bad boy young kid. Like, he's really flashy, he's kind of, like, 80s and new, and Eddie is more, like, subdued and that kind of thing. Multiple times there's references made to the fact that Babes does copious amounts of cocaine before he plays.
Oh, that sounds like John Turturro's character, Julius. They definitely reference the coke with him.
And then what happens is...
Sorry, Julian, not Julius.
What happens with Babes is he does actually beat him.
Babes beats Eddie?
No, Eddie beats Babes.
Oh, okay.
He loses earlier, and eventually so does Babes, so they have to face each other at the end of the losers match. So whoever wins that gets to go on and face the winner.
Yeah. Double elimination tournament.
Yes, it's a double elimination tournament. So, like, the losers match is more, like, a bigger deal because it's Fast Eddie versus Babes. And then the winners match is this new guy called Earl Coulson or something. And Earl's beating him but it's being filmed for TV. And there's also kind of, like, some Ray Bradbury anti-TV sentiment, even though this started out with them wanting to get picked up by TV. So the overhead light breaks, and they have to take a 10-minute recess to fix it. And so Eddie goes into the bathroom, and he, like, washes his face and his hands and everything. And then Earl comes in, and he has some sort of drug. I'm not sure what. He just describes the way that it looks as he's eating it, and Eddie basically slaps it out of his mouth and is like, you're gonna lose. And so it's like, okay, so the kids are doing drugs, and you hate them because they're kids and you're old now. So even though you beat them, you didn't really win.
So Julian is his... when we meet Fast Eddie first, he's, like, bored by the whole hustling thing, but he's still fronting for a kid named Julian, who's played by John Turturro. And he does the cocaine. And in the tournament, it's part of a montage. He beats Julian. He put some of the stuff from the book in the movie.
So, this whole book, you know that old, I can't remember if it was a tweet or if it was a Tumblr post or what, but it was basically adult literature versus YA. And it was like, adult literature. I'm suffering from ennui. Shall I cheat on my wife, perhaps? And then YA was like, overthrow the government and also kill its grasping Maoist successor.
And they wonder why our generation still reads YA.
Thank you, Hunger Games. And this book, I literally have a note that just says ennui. And then several other notes that just say more ennui. And it's just like...
So many that one of them fell out of the book and onto the floor this evening.
Yes, and I couldn't figure out where to put it back. I am so bored by reading old men's sad inner thoughts about how they are still hot even though they're 50 years old and they can still get laid whenever they want to, and their lives are just so miserable because the worst possible thing is to be involved in suburbia because they used to be great. Oh my god, get a fucking hobby.
You'll have to admit, though, that Paul Newman was perfectly cast.
Yeah, Paul Newman was...
Yeah, he's old. Yeah, he's still hot. I have no problem questioning how much he sleeps with women in this.
Yeah.
Sleeps with woman. It's one woman.
Is there a character named Arabella Weems?
Nope.
That's his girl. She's a British lady, and she's older.
His girl is Janelle.
Ugh. Arabella Weems is so much better.
What a great name.
And there's like a minor side plot where he realizes that she had a younger lover and gets really insecure about it. Like,
yeah, that sounds like a midlife crisis.
Like, the guy is literally dead, and he begrudges the fact that, A, they were killed, that he was killed when they were on a either bike ride or motorcycle together, and B, the kid was 26 when he died. And it's very clearly like, oh, I should have died at 26. I'm like, bro, she was in a traumatic incident that still has her scarred, that also killed a man she loved. You are not the only one who experiences feelings.
Yeah, I think you would have liked the movie, actually. Because, like, the movie is not... And I think that's what I liked about what Martin did with it. Martin, like I know him. What Scorsese did with it was... He added the character of Vince. And I say he wrote it. Richard Price, the team, the filmmaker. They added the character of Vince, who's a younger character who's going through a different stage of his life. Like it's like a waxing and waning like dichotomy between the two characters.
You're watching Paul Newman train You're watching Paul Newman train an analog of Paul Newman from the first movie.
And while he's doing it, he realizes like this is kind of shitty and like. He was having so much more fun. I could have fun. There's a scene that shattered my heart. I think it's the scene where he gets just completely hustled by Amos, by Forrest Whitaker. When he gets to the pool hall, he's got the fancy pool cue that he gave Vince, a balabushka, I believe.
Yes.
I'm sure it's all over that fucking book.
Yes.
He has the balabushka. He goes up to the pool hall, and he's so excited just to play. And he starts training again and stuff. And then he gets absolutely dog-walked. And where before we see him running up a staircase into this pool hall like a child. And then like as soon as he walks through the door, he straightens up and he slows down and he's a man again, you know. But then when he leaves, he's in that same staircase just fucking distraught. And it happens a couple of times. I think it happens another time where he and Vince are both running up the stairs having fun. And then they have a fight in that same staircase later. Because Vince didn't blow the match he was supposed to blow.
He gets the shit kicked out of him after he wins a bunch, and the guy that he was hustling is basically like, you have to beat the money out of me. But he's younger, so he just like kicks the shit out of him and gets like concussed.
Yeah, Vincent's the one who takes the beating. Just like, oh yeah, the things that like he did with the story. You said the book ended where like he wins and he's triumphant and everything like that. The movie doesn't quite end like that, because... he wins the match against Vince. And that's the triumphant moment. Is he did it. He still has it. He beat the kid. And then the next scene, the kid stops by at his hotel and drops him an envelope. He's like, that's your cut. And Vincent is so proud of himself. He's like, it was only 4 shots I had to mess up. The 5-ball on the side pocket, I'm so proud of that one. That one was beautiful. Because it set you up. Like, he's so proud of how much money he made. Because that's what Eddie taught him. But what Vince taught Eddie is that you gotta love the sport. And Eddie's just really hurt that he didn't actually beat him. He doesn't know if he's better than the kid. And we don't find out. Because the next match, it's a beautiful shot. Scorsese, great filmmaker, he looks at the cue ball, is right up against the 2-ball. And he sees his own reflection in the 2-ball, and he can't look at himself in the mirror, and resigns on the spot. It's awesome. It's a little cliche, but it fucking hits like a truck, because Paul Newman is just perfect in this movie. And the film ends, neither of them win the tournament, and Eddie confronts Vince alone at the practice room, And he's like, I want to play you. Let's go. And Eddie's like, oh, for the envelope of money? And he's like, just for whatever. He just wants to play him. And we get the break is where the film cuts off. You don't even get to see the match. And I love that a little bit more than just knowing he wins.
I don't know why, but hearing you describe that right now makes me think of The Godfather. I think it's the third one. It might be the second one. But the scene where the two brothers go fishing, and it's because Al Pacino is Al. Did I say the right name? Pacino?
Yeah, he's Michael.
Michael, that's his fucking name. Michael's killing his brother because his brother fucked up in Vegas.
Yeah.
But you have that scene beforehand where he's playing with his kid, and he's playing with the uncle is playing with the nephew, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't go fishing with you today. I have to go with your dad. And he's not coming back from that fishing trip. And you just have that his brother looks at the brothers look at each other and they recognize what they have each become. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's kind of that scene in this movie is they see what each other has become.
And it's such an interesting storytelling thing to do that I don't think a lot of movies do anymore, of having that two character thing where they kind of become like the other one. They each change.
Yeah.
But also neither of them are really good or evil. They're just in different stages of life. It's a really interesting and fascinating way to approach this story.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, but I feel like the more modern view of it is kind of the fact that we're now getting the villain origin stories that explain why, explain the villain's actions and how they get to the beginning of their movies where they are the villains. That's kind of the modern version of it, where it's everyone is a hero until they change, until the thing happens.
You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Fucking Nolan, man.
That's a good fucking line, dude. He fucking nailed that one.
So we've now broken down a little bit about the themes. Does the movie ever? What is the explanation the movie gives for the title? Is there ever an explanation?
No. It's implied, because I was actually thinking about that while watching, and it's more of just a loose thing, the color of money is the friends you make along the way. You know what I mean? It's it hit me as one of those things, but it's never explained.
Okay, let me see if I can find.
Oh, I bet you this chuckle fuck says something about the green felt. It's the color of money.
Yes.
God damn it.
That is correct.
Fucking damn it.
I was trying to find the specific section. I believe it is when he gets the job at the university pool room, and he is basically reupholstering the pool table. He talks about how he's using this really fancy green felt, and he talks about how it's the green of the pool table, the color of money. And that's the only time it's ever dropped. He never, Tevis is not subtle about a lot of things, but he's kind of subtle about that. And he just lets it sit there and kind of percolate in the back of your psyche.
It's not bad. It's simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you made an offhanded remark when we started talking that, oh, did he even read the book? It's I think he did. Because he absolutely, well, I don't want to say absolutely having not read the book, but it feels like he made a much more complex story out of the same basic details.
Yeah, it feels like he kind of tweaked the genre a little bit. Instead of it being a story about an old man who's having a midlife crisis and succeeds over his midlife crisis and moves forward, it's a more complex story about falling in love with life again.
Yeah, it's the important thing isn't whether or not he succeeds, because the last line of the movie is Paul Newman basically looking down the lens of the camera and saying, I'm back. And it's just it, even though there was never a third one, it's oh fuck yeah, he's back. I feel good that I don't care if he wins or loses, but he's doing it again. He's still going.
So one pretty major difference, which I think is funny considering that, the movie was after the book, is the fact that this actually, the ultimate tournament, the big deal 9-ball tournament takes place in fucking Tahoe.
Tahoe? Well, yeah.
It feels more Vegas-y.
Yeah,
Modern Vegas-y than, like, Atlantic City.
Yeah, because Tahoe, wasn't Tahoe a big part of Godfather as well? Godfather 3 when he does the Vegas shit? Because I think, like, Tahoe casinos were becoming a thing.
At least on the Nevada side.
On the Nevada side, yeah. I think that was, like, people realized they could put up casinos there in the 70s, 80s.
It was specifically...
My history's not that strong there.
It was specifically the Caesars in Tahoe.
Yeah, which we walked by.
We did.
And did not go in.
We did not.
Because I would have wasted so much money. Yeah, it's weird that it was in Atlantic City because they shot the whole fucking thing in Chicago. Like, it's like they shot the tournament in, like, a famous ballroom, like, on a Navy pier or something.
That's why it looks like pee.
I don't have anything else about theme stuff. Kind of talked about it all.
Let's see. Look at my note.
While you're looking at the notes, I'll iron down the cast and crew.
All right.
We talked about pretty much everybody. But Scorsese at this point, this was 1986, so he had just done Raging Bull, King of Comedy, and After Hours.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, right? And this was, like, his first major, like, not major picture, but, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, studio job?
Okay.
He did it because Paul Newman came to Scorsese and said, do you want to make this movie? And he is the only film he ever did that came in under time and under budget. And because of how successful this film was, he had the funding to do Last Temptation of Christ.
Okay.
Which was his passion project. So that's where Scorsese was at this point. It was written by Richard Price, who wrote probable future episode of the pod Clockers.
I believe the copy of it is over there.
Yep, there. Oh, he wrote the novel too.
Yep.
And he also wrote The Wire.
Okay.
Yeah. Those were his biggest... He wrote a bunch of novels as well, but those were his big, like, film-ish things. Fast Eddie Felson is played by Paul Newman. You know him from Cool Hand Luke, The Sting, Salad Dressing.
I was going to say, I know him from the salad dressing.
Should I tell a story about the day Paul Newman died?
Yes, you should.
So, I did a play in college that was written by one of our professors, and it took place in an art museum. And there was a character who... Was he a tour guide at the museum? I can't remember what he was doing there. Flamboyant gay man, played by a flamboyant gay man. And he had a line about talking about how dreamy Paul Newman was. And opening night of the weekend, opening night of the play, everything went pretty well. I was doing the whole play on plantar fasciitis, barefoot, and dancing. It sucked. It was not easy for me to do that play. But that line went off without a hitch. Paul Newman. And then the next morning, Paul Newman died.
So what you're saying is our theater professor killed Paul Newman.
Our theater professor not only killed Paul Newman, but also said the line stays. And a line that got laughs the night before got sad awes on Saturday. And it was worse on the Sunday matinee when all the old ladies came.
All the old ladies that had been in love with him.
For their entire lives. Vincent was played by Tom Cruise. You know him from Top Gun, Mission Impossible, probable future episode of the pod, Edge of Tomorrow. Carmen, Vince's girlfriend, we didn't talk about her at all. Because she's not in the book.
Nope.
Wonderfully played by Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, who you may know from Scarface, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Many an elder millennial, late Gen Xers' wet dreams.
You're aging yourself here, babe.
Not mine. I didn't know her until adulthood.
Yeah, you also weren't allowed to watch movies.
Listen. Janelle, Eddie's girlfriend, is played by Helen Shaver. She was in the Amityville Horror, and she was also in The Land Before Time. Guess who she played? Either
Sarah or Grandma.
Littlefoot's mom.
No! No!
So if you want to see Littlefoot's mom pillow talk with Paul Newman, check out The Color of Money.
Oh!
Yeah! Julian was played by John Turturro. Do the Right Thing is one of the best movies ever made. He was in Barton Fink. He did Quiz Show. And like I mentioned before, surprise! Forrest Whitaker's here.
Surprise, Forrest Whitaker.
Most of the rest of the cast, especially the pool players, were played by actual real good pool players at the time.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, there's there's a guy they set up to be the BBEG. And when, like, you first meet him, they go in the pool hall, and, like, Eddie stops and turns around, and he's like, Vince, look over there. That's the guy. And it's the, like, nerdiest guy you've ever seen. Like, he looks like a fucking joke. And they're treating him with reverence and fear. And it's like, oh, because this guy's actually one of the best pool players in the world right now. He's legit. But yeah, not a really big cast, considering.
So I found the note that I wanted to discuss.
Okay. Hit me with
so
it.
this is from the original 85. I mean, it's in the new one as well, but the quote, the citation of the quote is from the original 85. It's page 43, 44. Sometimes it all came back, and he would feel again the late-night vigor from the old pool rooms and the bedazzled love for his old skill at the table. His win over Fats had become known around the country, and a few years after it, some fat pool player whom Eddie had never heard of started appearing on television. Watching the man shoot, Eddie was reminded of Fats and of the night he played him. After hours of making shots in the closed pool room on the center table alone, Eddie finally permitted the sensation that had nagged him since watching the stupid show on television. It was a feeling he could not bring himself to name. It was grief. The best part of him had died, and he grieved for it. All media is about grief!
Yeah, fuck. Damn, that's good.
So you've got, like, the Bildungsroman, you know, the coming-of-age pictures. Mm-hmm. And those are about the grief of losing your childhood and becoming an adult. And it's, like, exhilaration in it, too. So at their heart, midlife crisis pictures are the same thing. It's you're grieving the life that you have had and you're moving into a new phase. And so it's just kind of like... That's why this is just a fucking book about an old man being sad.
The reason I laughed when you mentioned coming-of-age pictures is they approached a young actor prior to Tom Cruise to be in this film. I didn't write down his name because I'm an idiot, but he played the kid in 400 Blows.
Oh, God.
They almost got the 400 Blows kid to play Tom Cruise's character in this.
Well, I think they made the correct decision.
Oh my God, did they ever. Tom Cruise with his John Turturro hair. Oh. He looks fucking wild.
He looks like he just left the filming of, like, The Breakfast Club or Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Except he wasn't in those.
He looks like Charlie Sheen.
He does. This is actually the same year he did Top Gun. And there's a famous elevator scene in Top Gun that was a pickup shoot, and it's notable because what's her face, the love interest, is wearing a hat because she had since grown out her hair to be in another movie, and Tom Cruise is in a towel and wet out of the shower because they had to wet down his Color of Money hair so it looked more like a military haircut. And it's a jarring scene every time you watch Top Gun. I watched it recently. I went, something's off, not even knowing the story. But yeah, that's why. It's because he was doing this movie.
All right.
Same year. Did you have any other thing you want to talk about with the...
Not really. It's a pretty standard dad novel.
Sounds about right. I took a handful of... only a few notes while I was watching, and it's mostly about, some filmmaking things that Scorsese did. I talked about the stairwell shots, and I talked about he can't look himself in the mirror. I mean, the 2-ball. He did 2 other really interesting things with montage. And everyone likes to joke that Scorsese needs an editor. I think I brought this up the last time. He doesn't. He just likes to tell long stories. Because some of the editing choices he made here, there was a montage where I'm pretty sure it's Eddie playing. I didn't write down. He's playing a game of billiards, and during the game, it flashes back to an earlier game he had played, and then flashes back to this game to remind you of things that had happened in a set mood. And in other billiards montages, the speed of the shots and the editing matched the characters' moods, which is, a common filmmaking thing. But it was when they're more melancholy, the shots are more finesse shots and slower shots, and then it's the power shots when they're getting excited and shit. And it was just really nice, delicate touches on what Scorsese considered at the time his first mainstream film.
So there's not the whole detour into Kentucky folk art.
A what now?
So right about the halfway point of the novel, little over 110, 115 pages in, Eddie gets his shit pushed in and is not making money using the tips that Fats has given him and, like, links to hustlers in cities. So he goes back to Kentucky, and they start buying folk art from weirdos in the area. There's, like, a religious fanatic that makes really political art about America, and there's an old lady that makes quilts that are, like, really beautiful quilts, and there's a guy that makes large women out of junkyard scraps. And basically Eddie realizes that he can turn art into a hustle, and so he gets excited about it, and there's just, like, a 90-page detour where he's, like, a normal guy with a normal job, and then he becomes an art hustler, and then a kid wants to sleep with Arabella, and she says no, so he burns down, like, he destroys all of their art, and then that's when he goes to the fucking 9-ball tournament.
So, like, a season of American Pickers happens in the second act of this novel?
Kind of, yeah. And it, like, I'm pretty sure the purpose of it is to demonstrate that Eddie could have been good at anything, and he, like, what he's actually driven by is the idea of gambling and hustling, but having, like, the skill to back it up. And the reason that his ventures fail is because when he can't rely on his own skill, when there's other variables, he doesn't know what to do. So that's why he goes back to pool. That's why he keeps going back to pool. But it's very much like just 100-page detour in a, like, not quite 300-page book.
Weird.
Yeah.
Not in the film. Like, he goes to an optometrist. That's the only detour this film takes.
That's way early in the book. Like, after their first or second game of the series with Fats, Fats tells him you need glasses, and Eddie's like, fuck you. And then he's like, no, but he's right, though. And he goes to an optometrist.
That's in, like, that section. There's a lot of pool matches in this, so I might get some stuff out of order listening at home. If you're a huge fan of this movie, I apologize. But, like, I think it's when he loses to Forrest Whitaker. Someone mentions his eyes. Because, like, right after that, he gets the glasses, then he goes back to the pool hole and just starts hustling again. And really fucking nailing it. It's real cool. For those who don't know, I don't want to sound like I grew up wealthy, because I had a pool table growing up. My dad liked to get, quote, luxuries secondhand. So because he was a pastor, he had a lot of connections in the community. Someone was getting rid of a pool table, I'll buy it off you for $200. We had a pool table. It had warped ass corners. The felt was fucking ruined. I played a lot of pool as a kid. 9-ball was my game, which is what this movie's about. If you don't know and didn't watch the film, 8-ball is what you probably think of as pool. Solids and stripes. You gotta sink the solids, your opponent sinks the stripes. Once you sink all your balls, then you gotta sink the 8-ball. If you sink the 8-ball early, you lose. 9-ball. First to sink the 9-ball wins. The cue ball must touch the lowest numbered ball first on every stroke. That's it. Yes, you can win on the break. You can win at any point if the shot is there. I fucking love 9-ball. And Codie can attest to this. When the movie started, I went, oh, fuck yeah, 9-ball! Because the opening narration by Martin Scorsese himself is explaining the rules of 9-ball.
Yes, there's actually a chapter, a little section where Eddie is teaching Arabella how to play. And that is basically familiarizing the audience with the rules of straight pool.
Yeah.
But they never actually explained the rules of 9-ball.
Probably because it was
different.
It was actually super popular at the time. Like, 8-ball was kind of falling out of favor at the time, from what I was reading and understanding. But both are pretty prevalent now. I remember watching 8-ball tournaments when I was a kid, but I think 9-ball is kind of back on top again because it's faster.
Yeah.
9-ball fits better in a TikTok video. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved how the pool was shot in this movie. Tom Cruise did all but one of his own shots.
Okay.
And the one was the one when it appeared on screen. I went, how the fuck is he going to do that? And the on-set pool guy, whose name I didn't write down because I'm an asshole, just fucking nailed that shit. He had to the cue ball's up against the rail, and he still had to drop the cue in to pop the ball up over 2 balls to hit the ball he needed to hit, which then hit the 9-ball and won the game. It was stupid. Loved it. But yeah, of course, the dude who climbed the Burj Khalifa for a Mission Impossible movie would do his own fucking shots.
So, yeah, a lot of this book is this happened, and the balls were in this position, and then he did this, and then he was snookered, so he had to do this, and he had to do this, and I was like, oh, I'm just reading the Halo novels again.
Oh, I'm sorry, babe.
It's more like, it could have been about video games, it could have been about anything. It's like, I don't know what these terms mean. I roughly understand what you're trying to get across, but this is very boring.
So your eyes did the Ready Player One glaze over. So not quite as bad as Ready Player One. 8 Men Out? Boys in the Boat?
Little more... This was fine.
Okay.
It wasn't bad. It's just kind of like, okay. I'm like, I couldn't tell you the specifics of anything except whether he won or lost.
Fair enough. I don't really have much else. Scorsese considered shooting it in black and white.
That would have been interesting.
I would have hated it. Because I've played enough 9-ball that I know the colors of the balls. And there was absolutely a shot where he hit the 8-ball and the 7-ball was in the shot. Still on the table. But only one that I noticed. Black and white, it would not have... Well, actually, you know what? It might have drawn focus away from the table and to the characters, because that's what's really important. But you also can't have a film called The Color of Money and it be in black and white.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel as though you can't have color in the title unless you're making it intentionally about the lack of color, you know?
Yeah. The lasting impact of this film has extended into places that you don't expect.
Me specifically?
You and our audience probably won't see this one coming.
Okay.
So... there were some video game developers in the early 90s working on a new computer game that had this really cool character, really cool enemy designs, is kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, like innovative in gameplay, rip-ass soundtrack. They didn't have a title. They needed something that could grasp the attention, right? And they thought back to the film The Color of Money, where Tom Cruise walks in to... a pool hall with his nice Balabushka case, right? And another pool player looks at him and says, "Hey kid, what you got in there?" And Tom Cruise looks at him and says, "In here, Doom." Did you see that coming?
I was like, it's not fucking Mario.
I mean, Mario was named after a fucking, like, actual plumber, or, like, his looks were based on an actual plumber.
Yeah, I was like, okay, it's not Mario. What the fuck is this gonna be?
Fucking Doom. Maybe Mark will get that before it happens because I mentioned the rip-ass soundtrack.
Okay.
Yeah, that soundtrack's fucking awesome. Like,
so,
what a great, never mind.
I did also actually write another note underneath similarity to Raging Bull in that I said, feels like a Yakuza minigame. Because reading this, it felt like watching you go through the sub-stories where you get introduced to the new NPC who's better than the last NPC that you beat.
The darts one in 6. Yeah, like where you like work your way up. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. This is some Yakuza shit.
Yeah, like that is what it felt like.
And the Yakuza franchise, known for being about middle-aged men just going through it.
Yes.
So, it's kind of hard to compare this one to other Scorsese films. It's a bit of an outlier. He intentionally made it to try and prove that he could do mainstream. He used the money from this to, fund other passion projects. It stands alone in Scorsese's filmography as the only film that Roger Ebert didn't like.
Okay.
The bit of trivia I pulled from IMDb also mentions that at least he didn't publish Scorsese's home address like he did with some other filmmakers.
Roger! Sir!
You're such a salty bitch!
Oh, rip in peace, sir.
Ebert's criticisms aside, nominated for 4 Academy Awards, including 1 win.
I was gonna say, did it win any of them?
Paul Newman for Best Actor.
Really?
It was the year after he won an honorary, and it's widely considered that the Academy kind of felt bad he never won one. I need to look up who he was up against, but it's a killer performance. It's a really, really good performance. He's so enigmatic on screen, so easy to watch. The other 3 were Richard Price, screenwriter, Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio, was nominated for supporting actress, and Boris Levin, who is the production designer, and this was his final work before he died.
Oh. I don't have anything
I didn't want to end on a downer, but we talked about multiple people involved in this dying, so...
Well, I mean, it's not like it's a movie that was made 2 years ago. So, yeah, some of the people involved are gonna die.
Oh god, this movie's 40 years old. The 80s were only 10 years ago, Cody. I'm still young, right? Oh no, I get it.
So, did you like the movie?
It's good. It's not Scorsese's best. It's not The Departed. It's not After Hours, which I do highly recommend. It's not even The Aviator, but it's quick. It's a nice, tidy 2 hours. Paul Newman is so subtle and engaging. Like, you just can't take your eyes off of him. Tom Cruise is like a maniac at the start of it, and like kind of evil at the end, but not like evil. He does a real good turn.
Does the banality of evil?
Yeah. Or just... He's lost his soul. He loses his soul at the end, and maybe that's when he went to Scientology. I don't know.
Oh no, they're gonna come for us.
One of the location shoots, the pool hall, was across the street from what is now a Scientology church. And like somebody on IMDb was like, "That's interesting."
I don't think so.
It's not, but we're talking about it on our podcast. So what do we know? Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio is fantastic in this. It's just 3 great performances, all go through changes in their character. It's a good watch. It trucks along pretty good. I liked it.
Okay.
How about you? What do you think about the book?
It's fine. It's not offensive. I mean, it is offensive. There's definitely some shit in here that's like time period specific offensive.
El Racismo?
But it is not... the writing itself isn't bad. It's very middle of the road. Like, I'm not gonna think about this very much at all in the next, probably 10 years. Unless someone's like, hey, The Color of Money. I'll be like, I read that. I know the movie's different. But it wasn't like a difficult read. It wasn't like dragging myself through Ready Player One.
Yeah.
It was fine.
It's interesting, because, like, outside of the Doom bit, I feel like this doesn't really have a lasting impact. Whereas The Hustler had enough of an impact that, like, 25 years later, enough people went out to see this movie that, like, pool table sales spiked.
Yeah.
Like, that shit fucking happens with them. But that kind of didn't happen again. Maybe it's because Paul Newman died. I don't know. But, yeah, I feel like it's weird that we don't really talk about this movie at all, even though it's the pedigree and the names behind it. It's not really in the cultural zeitgeist anymore.
Yeah. There are some funny, like, period references, because I guess he keeps talking about how croissants are fancy. And he also talks about the first time he ever eats sushi, but he spells it with a capital S. It's like a thing that Arabella introduces him to. It's very, like, there's some stuff like that.
That's so fucking 1984, though. I just watched The Breakfast Club yesterday.
Yeah.
And she fucking brings sushi, and they make fun of her.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, because she's rich, she comes with sushi. This fancy rich girl. Like, it was such a fucking, like, point of reference back then. Yeah. And now, like, get sushi at the gas station. Like,
yeah, literally. I'm just going through and removing all of my little notes.
Oh, boy. While you're doing that, shall we figure out what we're going to talk about next time?
Yeah.
As the Scorsese continues.
Correct.
Into its third act of 4. We only have 6 left on the wheel. And let's find out what we land on this time.
You'll laugh so hard if it's Casino.
Mark is going to be thrilled.
I will probably be able to read this book faster than you will be able to watch the movie.
The wheel has landed on 2019's The Irishman. Based on the 2004 work, I Heard You Paint Houses. This is one that Mark has requested we've done in the past. And no kayfabe, Mark, the wheel landed on The Irishman, so we're doing it. Unfortunately, that means we will not be doing Gangs of New York or Casino or Goodfellas.
I forget that.
Not Gangs of New York, sorry. We won't be doing Casino or Goodfellas.
I keep forgetting that Goodfellas is Scorsese.
Scorchetzo?
So what am I reading? I Heard You Paint Houses.
I Heard You Paint Houses 2004.
So we're kind of developing a theme here with Mr. Scorsese.
Are we now?
It seems like he really likes him, an old guy going through it.
I mean, well, look at where we're at in his career in 2019. He was an old guy going through it. We've all seen his daughter's TikToks.
And then, like, he also likes a little dash of political intrigue, whether that is manufactured politics in the sense of, like, the culture of pool or changing of the guard, that kind of thing, where it was literal politics with Watergate and shit with The Aviator. So I'm curious to see how that plays into...
He definitely has, like, a vibe that he likes. Like, he has his, what the fuck am I trying to say? He has his, like... I don't know what I'm fucking trying to say.
He likes old men going through it?
No. Like, there's themes he likes exploring. And there's a lot about guilt, which I think is what you're getting at with old men.
Yeah.
And there's a lot about, like, machismo and toxic masculinity.
He does like to play with the role of masculinity and what being a man means.
Exactly.
Which is going to be interesting seeing that in a... finally seeing that in a mob thing. It's also interesting going from his earliest mainstream work to one of his most recent mainstream works.
Yeah.
It's kind of going from beginning to almost end of career and seeing, like, what money and power gets you in terms of...
Yeah, what a Netflix budget gets you instead of... Yeah, I'm interested to revisit this because I have seen it, and I remember liking it, but it wasn't my favorite, so...
Yeah, I remember you complaining about how long it was.
I mean, everyone was complaining about how long it was.
Except for De Niro. They just kept adding zeros to his paycheck, and he was like, shoot, 10 more hours, I don't give a shit.
You know what's not 10 more hours, though? This episode of the podcast.
You broke it! You broke the bit!
I figured out how to end one. If you want more of our stupid, inane thoughts, you can find our social media account and our email address in the link tree in the description below this podcast. Please feel free to reach out to us with criticisms, complaints, any factual errors, any suggestions for future episodes. We're always happy to hear and respond. You can check out our other show, The Treatment, a podcast about stories, wherever you get your podcast. We're doing that on the weeks we're not doing this, with our third in our throuple, Mark Lucas. This is the part that I don't know how to end. I can segue into plugs, but I don't know where to go from here. You can't just point at the stop button.
No, just stop it!
But I gotta, like... we need to be saying something for it to fade out over. That's the real... Oh, shit, I'm breaking the bit. Breaking the bit! Oh, shit, I picked the wrong button!